contact is imminent, and there's nothing she can do. This made Han need to intervene. A great silence falls over the place. Han stood still in the middle of the way. Gaiman had told him not to try and separate them. However, she's happy it ended before he had to get involved. Despite everything's unfortunate, Gaiman admits she lost the bet. But Juryong says the same thing she does. Now both are at an impasse. She said she wasn't going to use her hands, but Juryong didn't agree to that part. Whether using hands or not, he was still hit. She might be saying that out of pride, but to be honest, she's not that stupid. Then her uncle said there's no need to decide who won or not. It's his fault that things reached this point, and given Juryong's health, it's not good to continue. So they should decide it's a tie, and that it was an opportunity for both of them to learn. As soon as the boy fully recovers, they can have a formal challenge between the two. If that's what he suggests, Gaiman looks at him threateningly and tells him to listen. They'll meet again at the school, and if he fails to enter or loses to someone before losing to her, she won't forgive him in this lifetime. Despite everything for him, the fight was definitely an excellent learning experience. As she was leaving, Yeon asked for Serum's name, and she told her, if she's the one sponsoring the boy, she'd like to apologize. She doesn't know how good Serum is as an adventure, but from what it seems, she's not a complete useless person. She has a good eye for people, and Juryong wasn't the only one who had fun today. Now the two are sitting on the couch waiting. All this waiting was killing him. Serum is happy that after everything, he doesn't have to go to the hospital, but he wishes he could. And after everything, she's surprised. She didn't expect Yeon to admit she lost. Since she saw everything, she believes Juryong won, but he doesn't see it that way. He was the first to break the rules. When you remove the sling to attack, neither of them was fighting with the intention to win. With that in mind, he was the first to cross the line. In the end, he was going all out, and if he had hit her, he could have caused severe injuries. If he had been in her position, he would have used his hands too, because there was no other choice. Serum wants to know what would have happened if they had fought at full strength. For someone who didn't want him to fight, she seems to have gotten too immersed in what she saw. He then gets up from the couch. He realized they had arrived. In the room, two people finally enter. Serum turns to see who they are. It's Han, who says he's grateful. They waited all this time. He ended up bringing some pizzas for them to eat. After eating, he apologized to them. His knees caused some trouble and he should have taken them out to eat. But Juryong is already thankful for the pizzas. For him, food just needs to be plentiful, and that's enough. Adventure is like an eat 5 times as much food. Serum hadn't thought about that before, but he had been out cold for 4 days without eating anything. Anyway, his workshop doesn't work with leather, but with a similar material. They use fibers from high-class monsters as raw material. They make a strong combination with the aim of creating the best outfit for the user. This material is lighter and more resistant than leather. Thinking about Juryong, Han already knows which material combination and clothing type would suit him best. He does seem what Juryong is capable of, and he already has his personal information. There's just one more thing he keeps questioning. The final stage of production involves immersing the material in oil to increase its resistance and durability. Serum already knew this, which is why she requested the best material be used. But under the current circumstances, obtaining this oil is almost impossible. They used the oil from the voracious whale of the deep seas. They had a monopoly on this material, but due to unexpected circumstances, hunting them is now non-existent. There are other materials that can be used as substitutes with almost no practical difference. But that would imply a breach of contract, and error that shouldn't happen. And if they want to change their minds, it's okay. You can even recommend them to a master specialist in leather. He's willing to cover the loss of time for them. Juryong says he doesn't mind. If the difference in quality isn't that significant, there's no problem. He doesn't even use good equipment anyway. And above all, he wants to use the equipment made by this guy. Besides, he asked if Han was the one who taught his niece. He doesn't understand much about equipment, but he would feel better knowing it was made by someone strong. If that's the case, I'll stick with him. Serum knew something was off that day. It's already been 10 years since Han retired, but he was grateful to hear that. And he was happy to receive the compliment. Serum has no idea where all the food went. If they trust him, he will do his best to create that equipment. The more he thinks about it, the more disappointed he is with what happened last week. There was a hunt, and he thought he would get good materials from it. He asked if they had heard about the Imperial Wasp, and Serum mentioned the Royal Jelly. But in that monster, there is another material considered excellent by equipment makers. The black wax, which is used to protect the Queen. Only a few of them can produce this wax for protection. Showing his phone to Juriong, Han asked if that was what he was talking about. There was a picture. But since he lost his old phone, he had to improvise and draw it. Now, Han is surprised that the boy saw it firsthand. The truth is that Juriong smuggled it, but he said he saw it when he went to Serum's house. Rich people really have lots of things. Now, Juriong is in the hospital. He should have seen someone before heading there. It will take an hour, and the manager should be available by then as well. Han asked if Juriong had eaten, and indeed he had, but he would be up for eating again. As long as Han helps pay, of course. The door opened slowly where Juriong is. He needed to hang up now, but asked them to call him as soon as they arrived. Because the plans he had for that day just showed up. Zik says it's been a while. And Kablin Ho suggests they talk outside. 11 days ago, they discussed some things at the hospital. It's not good to make too much noise in Juriong's room. An attack team led by one man disbanded, and they might just stay quiet if that's the case. Kablin Ho says Zik is still the same, easily irritating people. These two used to be allies, but not everything is friendly between them. Zik got too worked up seeing him. Jawan or Kablin Ho is a retired adventurer. He was number 5 before that, and since they're on the same side, Zik should shut up and follow him. Sarah wonders if her friend will keep surprising her like this. And she wants to know more about the black wax he has. She imagines it's the item I was in the chest, and she should have been informed about it. But Juriong didn't even know what it was, yet he thanked her for handling it discreetly. After Argus, nothing has been easy, and now she wants to know if he's busy. And indeed he is, he has to meet someone. If it wasn't too far, she could give him a ride, and soon she felt her phone vibrate. It's her Uncle Zik calling. So she asked him to wait a bit, and he agreed since he would be late for his appointment. The nights were already getting cold at this time of year. It was the tailor who mentioned this, and he asked if Sarah had already left. But she had just gone to make a call. So she wouldn't be long, and the tailor said there was no need to talk to her. He just came out to smoke in peace. He mentioned that the skill Juriong learned today is called Flash. It was created by his brother, Gyun's father, and he also contributed to its development. Hearing this, Juriong became embarrassed. He immediately apologized to him. He should have guessed that the creator of the technique would be there. He apologized for using it without permission, but the tailor wasn't there to complain about that. There's no exclusivity for this kind of thing. In fact, they hesitate to teach it to just anyone. But it's neither wrong nor a discredit to learn through observation. If it's easy to copy, it's natural that more people will eventually use it. But it's not at all easy to copy. At first he thought Juriong had a weak foundation because he had never been taught by anyone. But after watching him in the fight, he realized that if Juriong had been lazy, he would never have lost the basic teachings. He doesn't know what happened for him to learn this way when he has some advice for him. He is talented, and with time and dedication, he will discover his true potential. Becoming a great adventurer will be a challenge for him. This is a potential that's not far off. But in this world, it's uncommon for prodigies to be admired. Of course, there will be those who admire and help him. But there will always be those who can't overcome their envy and will try to control or destroy him. And perhaps Juriong is already aware of stories like these. The boy wants to know if the advice is to hide his potential to avoid unwanted attention.